The government launched its website. Actually, it's a little early. Actually, I think they officially launch tomorrow, but covidtest.gov did come online today. So each family can order 4 free of charge tests. Are these tests any different from the ones the professionals use?
Based on the information that I've been reviewing, these are standard antigen tests where you basically go online and look, I'm going to show you. And my phone, my wife, she went online. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it says, "Thank you, your order has been placed." So basically, we went on the website and we put in the information. We submitted the order, and we received a confirmation that our test will be sent off. Now, it's being noted that these tests are supposed to go out 7 to 12 days after your order, and there are 4 tests per household. Now, note that the White House, in their briefing earlier today, did note that there might be some snags in this website, and some of the reports that I reviewed have revealed scenarios such as individuals that live in an apartment complex. Maybe there are 4 or more units in that complex. Well, if one person made the order and then someone else in another apartment in the same building with the same street address, then they would get a notification this was a duplicate and you're not eligible. So what was suggested is maybe some kind of way, and government, they know that they're going to try to fix these snags. If you can include your apartment number in the street address, and that way you wouldn't get that duplicate notification, and you can go ahead and get your order and get these tests.
All right, so very important that you fill out your address correct. If you are in a certain apartment number or building, you might want to put both the building number and the apartment number to show that it is a separate order from others that are coming in from that same street address. Well, how long after exposure should you take a test? I think this is something really we need to know.
No, that's very important, because when you receive the coronavirus test, it's basically looking for the viral, and you have to have a certain level of the virus in your nasal passageways. So if you, let's say, for instance, you come into contact with someone that has coronavirus, they're confirmed, and you've been in close contact with them up to 15 minutes within a 24-hour period within the 6 feet, which is the definition that's been presented by the CDC. If you test that same day, it's very unlikely that you're going to have a positive test from that exposure on that day, because what has to happen is the coronavirus has to infect the person being tested, and they have to build up what's called a viral load, where the virus gets inside of the person, and the virus replicates, and it becomes more and more, and then it's in their nasal passages. At that point, then you can have a positive test. And it's being recommended that it'll normally take anywhere from 48 to 72 hours. That's 2 to 3 days. So you want to wait until that long before you test, so you can ensure that you've had the opportunistic time to build up those viral particles.
So that's the main difference between the rapid test and the PCR test. The PCR being that nasal swab, and that's going to take more time to look at and get those results back to you, correct?
Well, the PCR now, it's much more sensitive. It's looking for remnants of the virus, and it is some of the genetic material. And the thing about the PCR is it's much more sensitive. So there are individuals that could be positive and not diagnosed with the rapid antigen test, because you need that high level of virus amount. But with the PCR, it can just get a very small remnant of the virus. But the problem with the PCR for a lot of people is it'll remain positive for a much longer period of time, where you can have what's called a false positive, meaning it's still showing positive, but the person is no longer infectious. But the rapid test is a really good test, because it tells when you're very infectious. It tells when you're at a point where you have a higher chance of transmitting the virus to other people, so that we can identify people that are infectious, and then they can be identified and taken away from the general population, and we can cut down on the spread of this coronavirus pandemic.
All right. I know you like it when we have good news, and this is good news now that we're getting these
This
free
is
tests.
very good news.
All right. Dr. Quinn, as always, thank you for being with us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And a reminder, you can order up to 4 free COVID tests by logging on to covidtest.gov or go to our website, WJTV.com. Again, thank you, Dr. Quinn.
Thank you.